Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Link to the Past randomizer tournament race. This is the Casual Boots tournament, which just started very recently. In fact, it's not even officially started yet. It starts in 2 days. But we're restreaming stuff anyway, because we can, because we have the power. It's also a Brew Crew battle between Kuchiri and Shinmaru. This is their game 2. I believe Kuchiri took game 1 in a group round-robin format. And we're going to get started here pretty soon. I'm also going to be joined by Unknown Availability on comms, who I believe is currently grabbing coffee, but we'll be back shortly.
We're back with the coffee. The brew is done.
Hit him with the psych! Alright, well, welcome, buddy. You ready for some casual boots that you didn't know was casual boots?
Yeah, I am. I was all prepared for cross keys, and now it's just going to be the easy, watch and go casual boots. It's great.
Piece of cake. Casual boots.
Apparently, Shin love boot and Kuchiri is MegaMan. I like that.
It's what he do. Alright, are you ready to do some commentary?
I am, absolutely.
Good answer. Good answer. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and drop out of this race, and we'll get them started. In 15 seconds.
15. Yeah, I think Shinmaru's sprite is one of the Ace Attorney. God, she's a detective, I think, or she does the fingerprinting and stuff like that. If I'm
Gotcha.
It's been so long since I've played Ace Attorney, which is a very good series.
I've only played a little bit of the first one, but I didn't get very far. But I might need to play more at some point in the future.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
very good series.
Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Wait for it. Good enough.
Fantastic.
Expert. Okay, we had Pyramid Fairy Crystals at Hera, it looked like, and I think Desert was a pendant. I'll be running tracker today, folks, so, if I make any goofs, make sure to yell at me.
Check blue mail. Wow, early.
So we got speed, we got weapons, we got armor. Well, I mean, what more could you possibly want this early in a seed?
I mean, they also got money too, so they can end up buying the things they need pretty early.
This is pure baby mode, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, the seed's being very kind so far. We'll know if it's going to be any kind, or if we see something like a hook shot or actually getting bombed, so we don't have to come back and do the back of escape.
For sure. Well, they have boots.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
They sure do.
Say something stupid? Yeah, that was me just a moment ago. I completely forgot about the boots opening. Yeah.
Remember, this is the Casual Boots tournament.
This is why we have coffee. This is what this is for. Heck, I even confused you by saying that, though. You were like, right, if they get... Oh, wait, they have boots.
Oh, well, to be fair, I was half listening. But now I'm full listening. You have my undivided attention. Alright, pretty standard start through Hyrule Castle. It's nice in a mode like this just to not have to think about Hyrule Castle ever, because it's like, I have to do this. Me and my opponent have to do this. There's no way around that, and we can just get it done and never think about it again.
Yeah, ever. Pretty much set on knowledge and everything. Like, your opponent did it. There's nothing to worry about. Everything that's there, your opponent has. It's just a matter of doing it quickly and knowing that your opponent's going to probably have about the same time. So,
nice magic powder here in Zelda Cell. Yeah, because like in open mode, Hyrule Castle can be like a 3-component thing, or 3 trips. You usually get your glove and do a back. Sometimes you get the front of it. You go do the front all the way to Zelda Cell, but you don't have a fire source or like a weapon, so you're like, I'll do Dark Cross later. And then you never know if you end up having to come back and maybe do Aga. So it's nice to just be like, this is done. I did it all in one fell swoop. No more.
Yeah, and open mode and other versions like cross keys and stuff like that, Hyrule Castle can be a make or break. It can really mess you up.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh yeah,
standard start.
I've definitely gotten a loss or two because I'm like, I'll just never do Zelda Cell or do that front of Hyrule and just hope for the best.
You don't say. I don't remember a hammer being in that first chest of Hyrule Castle.
Oh yeah, somebody speaking from experience. I was thinking of SG Live 2020. 2020? I think it was. No, 2019. When I lost to the eventual champion because I left a medallion in Zelda Cell.
Oh man, yeah, that's rough. That's a big feels bad, man.
Curse you, weighty words. He also stole my meats. I'll get him back one day.
Right now, Shinmaru's got a little bit of a lead on Kuchiri going into the Dark Cross.
Yeah, it looked like Shin just had a little bit better time with the ball and chain guard. Usually, in like the NMG run or whatnot, you attack him from below because he has a harder time hitting you with the ball and chain. You can kind of get right up in there, right up in his grill, and slash him 8 times. And Kuchiri was having a little bit of trouble because he was trying to attack him from the left side. And you know how sometimes guards are just like super excellent at guarding against your sword slashes somehow? Well,
yeah,
that's another example of where that doesn't help.
Exactly. And yeah, there's also, I think he was also getting bullied by the green guard a little bit too. Kuchiri was.
Yeah, he also grabbed a heart, I think, from the 3 pots that were there. So, but thankfully it's very early still. We have plenty of time. So hello chat, how's everybody doing? Hey, I know that song.
I was about to say, is somebody subbing I Hate Your Pie? I was not expecting to hear that. I didn't know that was the Sanctuary song. That's funny.
And look at these runners actually paying attention to the items they got out of Hyrule Castle and knowing that that Sank chest was going to be the map and saving those precious seconds. I would have grabbed it anyway because just because I would have been too nervous not to.
Completion's sake.
Alright, early book, which means early ped check on this early opening route up to the Lost Woods into Kakariko. Ooh, nice find. Bush crabs, dropping 4s.
Not really needing the money right now unless we're going to be having to do a Zora check, but they're going to be avoiding that unless they absolutely have to go there.
Oh, that's really bad for Kuchiri. Kuchiri not seeing that there was a glove at the Lumberjack drop down, so we are definitely fighting Aga today.
Rip.
I feel like
Aga 1 seed.
I feel like skipping Lumberjack check in a casual boots is a interesting. It feels like an interesting choice because you're already 2 pieces away from being able to acquire that item.
Yeah, I agree. You're starting with most of the pieces of the puzzle, so chances are there probably is going to be something. Now Kuchiri's also not checking the pedestal here, so we're going to get a ped check from Shinmaru.
Rupee Horde.
Well, that's fortunate. We're avoiding a little bit of an all dungeon seed, possibly.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, it's free information. It's like, checking, you're on your way to Eastern, and you're like, I could drop down into the Lake Hylia and just see what is on the island real quick. I can't get it, but just, that free information can be pretty beneficial sometimes.
Oh, hands down. The knowledge of knowing whether or not you're going to be going into an all dungeons can sway whether or not you're going to go independent dungeons earlier rather than later.
For sure. Also, look at all this health so early. Kakariko loading us up. Also getting a blue potion. Like, this seed is just so friendly and with the items. What's up with that?
What's about to happen is we're going to get some... We already know it's an Aga seed, which, again, these tend to lean towards Aga seeds. It's probably something like a 60-40 split on Aga. Having to do Aga. So, yeah, I don't know how that's going to affect Kuchiri at this point. So I'm really I'm wondering what Kuchiri is going to figure out from this, whether or not they're going to go back later, or I don't know. That's a lot of information that they're missing.
It's really going to depend, because if there is that slight chance that he could just find Glove, Hammer, and Moon Pearl and not even, worry about getting the mitts there or know about it. Like, that is a possibility. It's probably not very likely, but it could happen.
I'd argue if that does happen, that's actually worst case scenario, because now you don't know where the second glove is, and it's in a spot that Shinmaru has that information. A fire rod, cool, man. That's front-loaded seed for sure. Yeah,
which is always scary. And Kuchiri skipping out on that early because he didn't have bombs, so also not checking the bush crabs in Lost Woods cost him a little bit of time as well.
And kind of a kick there. If he would have just dropped down, he would have gotten the 10 bomb drop anyway. So
that always happens. That always happens. I feel like if I go into Kakariko, especially from the north, I'll drop into Kakariko before doing Blind's Hut. Just because getting in and out of the Cackwell is so much faster than getting in and out of Blind's Hut because of the staircase and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a very valid decision.
Oh, okay. So Kuchiri skipping out on Library and Maze Race to go check Pedestal instead.
I would imagine that Kuchiri is like, I have the book, and then
this might have been a late realization for sure. So he's going to end up isolating those 2 checks down there. Now, if this wasn't casual boots, if this wasn't starting boots, I'd be okay with this, just skipping Maze Race and hoping for the best. Oh, he might actually run all the way back to Kakariko, so gonna lose a little bit more time there.
Man, at that point, what would you do? Would you actually save and quit and just go back to Link's house and do the other checks and South?
Yeah, I would have. Just because, like, if I had found a shovel or something, then I could route shovel in, or a nice bombos here in the library. Or, if it's a situation where I find my Dark World Axis and I find a mirror, then I can combine that in with, like, Digging Game.
Yeah, probably end up saving yourself a lot more time than running all the way back down to the south.
All right, that's it for Kakariko. Let's see if we're heading... We don't really have any good... We don't have any dungeon destroying items right now. So, probably heading straight to South Shore.
Yeah, we can't finish Desert, we can't finish Eastern Palace. We can go into Desert and check the front, but getting to the back is not possible. We need a glove, which we know one is behind Aga 1 at the tree, so...
So we're looking for that Moon Pearl, we're looking for hopefully that hammer, maybe that other glove. There's a flute, that gets us up to Death Mountain, as well as opens up some nice mobility. Man, if only you just skipped Kakariko, you could have saved some...
Right.
No,
I mean, there was a fire rod in Kakariko. Kuchiri got the fire rod, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I would imagine he did. I don't remember exactly where it was at, but they both full cleared.
Yeah, it was the first chest at Cackwell. See, now this would have been a situation where if Kuchiri had saved and quit out of the pedestal and just gone south, then he would have gotten the flute, and he could have combined flute with those South Kakariko checks.
Right.
Sometimes it's okay to skip stuff and then combine them with stuff later and just hope for the best.
I feel like in a lot of these casual boots and these, for lack of better terms, like easier like rule sets, earlier routing isn't as painful as later routing. And also, what is this cave?
Was that hammer and mirror? What the heck?
Hammer, mirror, and the medallion, man. That's something else. Well,
Kuchiri...
that's we were talking about that piece to the puzzle there.
This is okay. This is another thing that I don't like. I mean, you just picked up the flute. So now you can go back, activate flute, and then mirror or a flute over to desert later. And this isn't really even just like because we know that Mini Moldering Cave has a ton of good stuff. But I feel like routing wise, it'd be better to hold off on desert at this point. But who knows? Maybe Kuchiri will find something good out here. Maybe it's a required double dip of desert.
Yeah. And honestly, with the knowledge that we have, even though they can get up to Death Mountain, really there's only one check in logic up on Death Mountain since we don't have lamp. So if we're talking about logic, obviously nobody cares about the lamp in general. So
right. If we're talking about Kuchiri, yeah, he can only do one thing. Shinmaru could do a ton up there with that mirror and hammer now.
Right, mirror and hammer. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's right, they can get everything over there. So yeah, Death Mountain's going to be the next play for sure.
Okay, get this magic bat check.
I like checking this, getting this out of the way, because that's just such a really isolated check until you get mitts that you know is behind Aga 1.
Just some bombs. There's definitely a situation where you potentially could have held off on it and done it with maybe a Smith chain check. But, we're still missing Dark World stuff.
Mitts are on the Agaledge, so you're literally having to wait for mitts anyway, so just it's gonna be a while before you actually get.
For sure. It's a choice. I mean, if we had maybe Moon Pearl or... Well, here's what I am wondering. I'm wondering if Shin gets another sword or the cape, if they just go do Agatar with Fire Rod. I don't know how good they are with that scenario, with that dark room. I know I'd be doing it, but because with with Fire Rod, it's really not bad because there are torches. Once you know where the torches are, lighting them. There's only a couple dark rooms that you actually have to deal with.
Yeah, and they're not all that difficult. They're pretty. What is? That was just such a weird series of events on Kuchiri's side. I really don't...
Well, he went and checked the big chest, and then he wanted to get out of there to go to Agnes Cave, so...
Yeah. That's right, they also don't have the mirror, so they're... Yeah, that makes more sense.
So let's see, maybe he gets a Moon Pearl out of here. Which will make up for this routing. No, just a heart piece. Where the heck was that? Where did Kuchiri get that mushroom?
I don't know, but Shinmaru did turn the mushroom in. And it was
okay.
So they definitely both got the mushroom from somewhere that they've both been. Possibly sunken chest. I don't know, 50 rupees on top of the...
Must have been in Kakariko or something.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't know. I missed it.
So far, not too much up here on Death Mountain. We are going to probably get a map check here and see where our other two pendants and other Pyramid Fairy Crystal is. Green Pendant Thieves, Pendant Swamp.
Pod is 5.
Pod is 5. What is that? Is that a water... Is this a squirt bottle?
Yes, because she is the forensics chick and Ace of Tourney. So she does like fingerprinting and stuff like that. That's actually really cute. Okay. It's actually really cute.
Another heart container on Ether Tablet. This is such a healthy seed this early. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, and we're getting a Tower of Herod if we can fully do Tower of Herod. Well, yeah. No, we can't. We can, I was gonna say we can do the Herapot, but we don't have Hookshot yet. So, yeah, but we can still fully clear it, so...
Yeah, we got that Fire Rod if Big Key ends up being in the basement. But it isn't! It's right there! Well, this is unfortunate for Kuchiri. Skipping on Mini Moldering Cave, gonna miss his mirror. I guess it's not that big of a deal because he needs to, saving the old man doesn't lose too much time. But if he goes up and checks like Spec Cave, he's gonna lose that time walking up the mountain.
Yeah. But at least there's nothing that's going to delay you going down back to South Hyrule. Like, you're gonna get pigeonholed to go back down there.
I do find his routing choices to be nice frame roll on that Moldorm. His routing choices are a bit odd in my opinion. Just a lot of kind of one-off checks as opposed to, you know, skipping Mini Moldorm Cave this early is kind of a big risk.
Yeah, that's just a lot. There's a lot there. There's a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Agina. It's not like the Ice Rod Cave. And even then, we have Flute to be able to go back to Mini Moldorm Cave really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's...
I do like the early Agnes Cave play just because it is casual boots. You know, you can get there very quickly, and of course you can get there even faster with the mirror.
Yeah, of course.
The desert dip was a bit of a risk for sure. It's unfortunate for him and not paying off.
Yeah, I can argue the risk of going into desert just because of the early book and just kind of like reading the seed a little bit, but yeah, doing mountain before even going to Mini Moldorm Cave, I don't know if I could say I'd do that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a risk just because it's only one item in logic.
Right.
Now I wonder if Kuchiri would have held off on desert if he knew that the glove was over at a lumberjack.
That is also true, and that's something I mentioned earlier, that not knowing that glove is there, you're gonna have, your decisions are gonna be different. Your decisions are gonna be vastly different. I feel like a lot of people underestimate what knowledge actually does for you in a randomizer. Like, knowing where something is at is just so powerful.
Yeah, and Kuchiri just, you know, taking a risk, not checking stuff. It just so happens to be the scene where it's not going to work out in his favor. Now, if he does happen to find access to the Dark World that isn't, you know, via Aga, he can check what's at Lumberjack later when he checks Bumper Ledge, potentially, and mirrors. So that mirror can kind of help him out there.
And on top of that, too, we're also looking at a point where, unless we find that Dark World access, Ag is going to be the Dark World access. So that's going to incentivize going back to the tree.
The thing is, we need the same amount of items to get to the Dark World via Aga as we do to get to the Dark World without Ag.
Right, yeah.
Just some bombs
and ice droid. Man.
Let's see what's in the basement. This could also be big 10 arrows. So Kuchiri could get some time back if he decides to skip that later. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's all East Death Mountain. We have Saha, and we have an Eastern Dip. I believe that is left in logic. Kuchiri's setting up a nice water walk here. I'll see if he decides to go to Hobo or if he's just going straight to... He's taking a loop-de-loo. Okay. Wasn't sure if he was going to go up to Hobo or not.
Yeah, that's interesting to go all the way up there and not go do Hobo anyway. But I guess
he wanted to see what was on the island. The thing is, like, when you have the flute, it's really easy to skip out on seeing what's on Lake Hylia Island because you're just going to flute to 5, as opposed to dashing over from Link's house. There's our Moon Pearl here in Spiral Cave. Alright, we are still just looking for... Well, at this point, we're looking for another glove. That's it. Okay, also, this works out. Kuchiri gonna back up. Oh, I don't think he meant to do that. Or maybe he did. I don't know. I thought he was gonna go back all the way to Hobo.
Yeah, but, I was curious about that, too.
I think he intended, but accidentally hopped out of the water. There's our Master Sword. There's our bow. This seed is
Eastern.
Scary fast.
Yeah.
You know,
now, do you go ahead and do your Aga play, or do you get Eastern out of the way?
I would absolutely go ahead and do Aga.
Because you can route Pod and Eastern together.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That is exactly why.
I like that.
Because then you can just go straight over to Pod, beat that, mirror, do Eastern. The problem is we don't have Well, it really depends on if they're comfortable with Fire Rod Aga. Which,
Right.
not a lot of people are practicing that, so...
It's easy to forget after playing this game for so long that the lamp kind of matters for some people. Like,
Yeah, I'm always happy to see the lamp, unless it's like off of a really long... Oh, well... well, that's that. Here we go. This is where things are going to get interesting. Because Kuchiri is going to get that Dark World access point, but not know about Lumberjack, so...
Shinmaru can literally go south, go into pod, beat Eastern, and just knock both of these out right here. That's really useful. No, go south. Why are you going north?
Well, he might not want to do lampless pod, potentially.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Again, the lamp. Keep forgetting the lamp is a thing.
Yeah, to be honest, I have not seen much of Shinmaru's gameplay before, so this is kind of new experience for me, watching them. So I'm not completely sure of all of their preferences when it comes to routing decisions or what they're comfortable with in this game. And it's easy for me to be here like, oh man, I Dark Aga with Fire Rod straight into lampless pod Eastern piece of cake, go. But that's the thing, is you have to realize what you're capable of, what you're comfortable with, because you don't want to make a decision and then like lose time because you're out of your comfort zone or you're not capable of doing certain tricks, certain things. So
yeah, absolutely. You got to stay within a certain realm, because if you do go outside of that realm and spend an extra 5 minutes trying to do something that you see somebody else doing, you're going to end up losing. It's just going to happen.
Hell, in my CasBoots race yesterday, I got stuck in freaking dark maze for a bit because the stupid big key had to be in the top left of dark maze, but I hammer jumped, so I had to walk all the way up there and then walk all the way back and then walk all the way out or death warp or whatnot. It was a pain in the butt. Shin can do dark rooms, but he would generally prefer to have lamp if it's logically available. Oh yeah, having lamp is such a nice comfort either way, especially for me, like when it comes to like silverless Ganon fights, because getting that Fire Rod torch glitch is scary sometimes.
Yeah. I think I have lost a few games at least, a few matches at least, to missing the stupid Fire Rod.
I remember during I think it was SG Live last year, because it was a harder item pool, that I spent some time just kind of scouting out or practicing timings with a Fire Rod to make sure I wouldn't ever miss. So if you ever see me in that situation, lampless fighting Ganon with no silvers, you might see me do a lot of pause buffers because I'm trying to find the right frame that the Fire Rod will connect without miss.
The thing that's annoying about that fight too is that there's that little window where it eats your input.
Yes, absolutely.
It gets screwed every time. Oh, shovel.
Out of logic shovel here on right side of Eastern. I think that's the only thing we found in here so far.
Yeah, there's been nothing else, and it's going to be the compass on Armos, so that's literally the only thing we found.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, the potential time save of skipping Hera Basement, not a thing for Kuchiri in this situation, which is highly understandable because, you're still looking for Dark World access and skipping stuff is scary. Okay, just a heart piece on Floating Island. Probably already saw that on Shinmaru's side. But yeah, this definitely got interesting with this easily could have been you need to beat Aga to get that glove just to progress through the Dark World.
And it ended up not being that way, which is honestly very bad for Kuchiri here. Without knowing that the glove is on the Aga Tree ledge, that is going to be just complete. It can be awful, because if you're not thinking to check that, you're not going to try to go to Aga. Nobody wants to go to Aga 1 ever. So in Kuchiri's mind, they probably are completely discounting that spot. So they're going to try to go to more item-dense locations now and get into the Dark World, possibly even do the Pod Eastern dip like this, because they're about to get the same stuff, following up with Shinmaru. And yeah, it's going to be a really rough spot. So
it's going to be interesting because there's definitely there is that potential scenario where those mitts could be Kuchiri's go mode, and you get to save a bunch of time not doing a bunch of crappy mitts checks. But yeah, having skipped Lumberjack check, there is a possibility that Kuchiri might not check it until he has that lamp. But he might check it with like a bumper ledge check, like I mentioned earlier. So
yeah, Kuchiri did end up getting the Moon Pearl, so they are set to go into the Dark World. Good old Height Cave check.
Yeah.
Never been the same since like version 16.
Well, we already had like a Hype Cave over at Mini Boulder Cave, and well, okay, well, there's silvers and another bottle.
Safety cave.
Sorry, Chad. I'm doing a bad job at tracking. I'm not used to this.
Good old safety cave, and we're about to get our gloves over on Kuchiri's side, which knowing Kuchiri, they might go do Pod first and do the mirror. Yeah, they're already pulling out the flute. So.
It's my first day. Okay, well, so I mean, we're in a situation where we need not too many items. I mean, we still need a few dozen items. But with Pendant Swamp, we might not need the flippers. Technically, we could sequence break an Ice Palace and skip needing those. But we definitely need Ice Rod. We definitely need Samaria. We'll need Hookshot for GT. There's a Tempered Sword. Wow.
Well, that's nice.
And we might need Ether. We don't know yet.
Well, we're getting undiscovered territory here from Kuchiri, so we're going to be seeing what's in Pod, which a lot of times Pod can be a gold mine, and these smaller rule sets with like casual boots and things like that. It's just Pod tends to get a lot of good stuff. So
the scary thing is we got so many items early that things are going to start slowing down potentially.
Oh, they already have. Yeah, I mean, even though we've gotten like the safety items, we really haven't gotten anything that's progression worthy since the glove. So
Magnet. What about that? Is that progression worthy?
I mean, hey, you can go beat Aga now.
Okay.
Swing your net at Aga. It's trying to tell him to go beat Aga. That's what it's trying to do.
Oh, is it? Okay, is it screaming Aga right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's giving him the knowledge that he needs to go beat Aga to get that nits.
So, judging by this, I gotta assume that Shin is probably hoping to find that lamp before having to make that Aga play. This is looking like a Skullwoods play next, which, you know, the Tempered Sword in hand, blue mail, is going to be really nice. I think Kuchiri did pick up a red mail.
Yes.
Somewhere.
I think they both have red mail at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say the red mail was...
It was in the Lost Woods. They've had it for a while,
yeah.
haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Like, I want to say it was pretty early.
Yeah.
This seed is definitely a very safety-oriented seed, man. We got 2 bottles in the form of blue goo and a fairy. We got red mail, silvers already. Just a lot of safety stuff.
Baby game for babies. So if any of these 2 runners die, I'm going to laugh at them specifically. Unless it's a Death Warp. But Death Warp would be kind of annoying in this scenario.
I don't know why they'd be Death Warping. They have the mirror.
I don't know.
I'd laugh at them if they Death Warped.
Gotta save scum that I don't know.
The mirror usage, right? Yeah. It's got a limited life.
save the TR portal. Yeah, you're right. There we go. Okay, that'd be the only scenario where you'd death warp in this situation.
We've never seen that on the Willing stream before.
Never once.
Spending an extra 20 minutes just to save your TR portal.
Why are you laughing? That's a logical decision. What are you talking about? If it comes up, it's not a bad idea. And you know, oh wow, the lamp and pod. Come on.
Of course it's in pod. I was waiting for that to happen. I was waiting for it.
Well, that's good for Kuchiri. I don't know when... Well, you know, if after Shin's done here, I would see Shin probably go into pod before, like, doing Green Pen and Thieves Town. There's the ice from... Well, never mind. I guess we won't be death warping. There goes my smile. The seed is baby, dude. That's so easy. What's it gonna come down to? Like, hook? It's gonna be like a hook shot. There's gonna be a hover seed at the end of all this. Uh-oh.
Kuchiri with the little left down movement, like, oh, right.
looked at the camera and froze up, like, oh man.
I don't think any of us are any stranger to that. I think we've all done that before.
Yep. By the way, in case anyone's wondering, this is Ace Attorney music. Whee! That's a dead moth. Yeah, I think
we got one item so far in Skullwoods.
Yeah, the ice rod, I believe. I don't think Shin touched the front at all. So
they did a good idea going to the back first with the loadout they had.
Okay, so Kuchiri, I guess, just took a risk because, you know, it's a bow-locked pod. He went right side, got the two items mirrored out, and went to the front, but just didn't drop down. Hoping that it was just going to be small keys, I guess, in the front.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The pod routing is definitely interesting, to say the least.
It looks like Kuchiri is not a hammer jumper, I guess.
I got to learn that myself. I still, after all these years, have not learned how to hammer jump.
Oh man, it's crucial in cross keys.
It really is, and I'm in the cross keys tournament.
I know. I commentated your race last week.
Thank you.
Yeah. You sounded like Beetle from Wind Waker.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, at this point, after checking bumper ledge, Shin's gonna mirror and see the. No, that's Kuchiri.
Yeah. Shin's the one that knows. So
I know. I was doing a thing, a funny bit. Yeah.
Darn.
I just want to make everyone aware that I've been awake for maybe an hour, and I slept like crap. So if anyone wants to say anything mean to me right now in chat, do it now.
Why do you think I'm getting it out of the way on commentary?
Ah, you see. Doing it right.
So, key items that we are missing right now as far as commentator knowledge goes is the red cane and the hook shot. Those are the major ones that we are looking for.
Mm-hmm. And until we get those mitts and get to Meyer TR, that's the one up there. We might also need that ether medallion, but I'd be feeling pretty comfortable that we might not need it, just having 2 of the 3 already.
Right. And logically we do need the flippers, but that's not... These runners know how to fake flippers, so it's not that big of a deal.
Speared in the face.
That's right, you better run. Thunk.
Not the bee! I wonder if this is Shin's decision to go either straight to pod next, or this might be... I would assume so. Just grabbing another bottle. Hammer already out. This is a pod play. They're going to be happy to see that. Do it. Go to pod. Oh, this is Aga. Okay.
Interesting.
Agate Pod.
Interesting. Okay, going to Aga before going to Pod. I always find it interesting about the dark rooms that people worry about. Like,
yeah,
Pod seems to be up there, and Mire, of course, but like, I don't know.
I'm interested to see how this Agatar goes for Shin. If you have, if you're learning the dark rooms, I always recommend having the maps for the dark rooms that you can look at. Hell, I was looking at the pod maze yesterday during my casual boots race, and I've been racing this game for like 5 years.
Yeah, I tend to turn my brain off and just watch where I'm going on the map, and kind of, I don't even look at the screen that I'm actually playing on. I watch the map, and I have it saved in a folder on my Chrome, so that still doesn't change Mire being a pain in the butt.
Oh, Mire Dark?
Yeah, that one Mire Dark room where if you get hit once, you lose track in finding your way. If you've already picked up the pot, it becomes a pain in the butt.
I feel like I've managed to come with a relatively consistent setup for that.
I've seen a few of them that are pretty consistent. It's a matter of learning them, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
They trying to do...
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are they trying to do?
I'm trying to hit the torch.
Like, there it is. I was like, I was confused because they missed so many times.
Well, they can't see unknown.
Really? I thought I could see everything fine.
That's probably why they missed a bunch. It's dark. Did you know that?
No. They should go get the lamp out of Pod. I mean, come on.
Oh,
man.
okay. Alright, well, hard part's done. So, with the mitts in hand, we can fake Flipper and Ice Palace. We can go see what medallion we need for Mire, and maybe check all the overworld over there. We can go back up to Death Mountain and do Super Bunny and one chest. These options really suck. I don't know, maybe you don't want these mitts yet.
Yeah, there's really no... I don't know, the routing choices here are just all sorts of butt. It's not fun. I probably would go cross-eyed trying to figure out where I would actually go in this instance. There's just too many options.
I definitely would have... I mean, for me, I would have gotten the mitts before even heading over to West Dark World, just because you could have done the Hype Cave up to Thieves Town from the south, or just to save how annoying it is taking the Village of Outcast portal without mitts.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Shin was hoping to find a lamp, but they did fine. Those dark rooms are fine.
Yeah, they nailed it. They did really good.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a good confidence booster as a runner. If you've had trouble with stuff like that before, or if you avoided it and then nail it and get through it, and it's like, okay, you kind of settle down. You feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah. Or it's like when you make a big risky play and it pays off, like the very last check on left side swamp has your progression. You're like, oh, thank goodness. Because otherwise you feel like crap.
Yeah. Great, I just spent all this time doing this, man.
I was like half Kermit the Frog there. Alright, that's a dead agate. I get to click this button now. Alright, anything on the pyramid? Oh my god. Cane of Samar.
Cane of Samaria, dude.
Alright, well, that's...
hover seed. It actually is a hover seed.
Unless we need ether, yes.
And before the hook shot is literally the chest before Muldrum 2.
That never happens outside of
ever
cross keys or whatnot, some stupid mode. Looks like both runners had a little trouble with the... Well, I mean, got the Armos quick kill. Just it looked like they both kind of goofed it up a little bit. Well, Kuchiri was going for like the one you do in GT. Oh my gosh, that skull's a madman. it went around the bonk rocks.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that happen.
All right, I'm not tracking these well. These 2 dungeons done for Kuchiri, so we're tied in crystals. Yeah, we're still waiting to see when... I mean, this will eventually be Kuchiri's first trip over to West Stark World, but... Assuming that's what they do after this. But we're still waiting to see when and if he finds that, or checks Lumberjack. What mode is Casual Boots? Casual Boots is a standard start, so you do the Hyrule Castle at the beginning of the seed, and you start with boots and a sword. Not checking Zora?
You have 700 rupees. Yeah, I was thinking they might go do that. So that's why they...
What? What?
That was weird.
Whoops.
Checking the flipper spot without flippers and not going all the way to Zora. That was kind of weird.
Mistakes were made. Alright, we're heading to Pod.
They're gonna find their lamp and be like, really? Really?
That could have saved me a few seconds. Okay, and honestly though... What? What are you gonna say is honestly?
I was gonna say that it's gonna be kind of painful as Kuchiri getting the silvers right here after beating Eastern Pod.
It's fine. I will say though, for Shin, like that was probably their first, like, more or less mistake that they've made so far. They've been playing the seed really well, but I guess we're not going to see Zora for a while from either player, because now they've both done the same thing of checking what's on the ledge and then booking it. Of course, Kuchiri didn't have the money at the time, so his decision is a little bit more reasonable. But we are going to see Bombo's tablet. This is new.
Yeah, in before hookshot on Bombos, and we really have a mess on our hands.
I don't remember if Lambolas had an item or not. I wonder if Kuchiri is going to follow this. No, I can't imagine he'd follow this into Desert.
20 rupees.
Yeah, that'd be a risky play. Well, it's a pendant too. Why the hell would he do that?
Yeah, I think Desert is...
I was thinking it was a crystal.
Yeah, I think you leave that until absolute last, which, you know, again, at this point we're looking at hunt for hookshot, so who knows where that's going to be. It could be in a lot of places. If you think about it, hookshot is literally... It's obviously not as bad as the ice rod, because the ice rod only has one place it can't be, but the hookshot can be a lot of places.
Well, the problem is you can skip the hookshot. You can't skip the ice rod if it's required. But there is no technically required or logically required ice rod. It's either you need it or you don't, at least in this mode.
Yeah, well, true, but I mean, there's still you got to be able to hover, and I think I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 people max that have been able to hover on emulator. Like, that's a tough thing to do.
Kuchiri going with the strangest route through this section.
I didn't check the shovel with it while having the mirror, and then it's coming back through. This is interesting route.
Well,
Kuchiri's routing this entire time has been awful.
He went Bombo's digging game, K45 Stumpy, and now he's gonna... Where's he going now? He doesn't... oh, he does have. He did both beat Hera.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Man, I'm really bad at tracking. I'm so sorry. My bad. Okay, well, I mean, he's gonna get his Samaria, and he's gonna get some more info over here. We might see that hookshot then. Or maybe Ether.
Kuchiri's been playing the I don't know, I almost call it the long game. We're going to a lot of these really off the wall, I don't want to say isolated, but just very checks that people don't like to do.
Yeah.
So it's something else.
What's unfortunate for him, though, is if he knew that Lumberjack had the mitts, then he could just mirror and do Castle Tower right now and save a good chunk of time having to run all the way up there.
So another unfortunate chain of events for Kuchiri with lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Right, this is probably going to be up to Catfish then as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a mirror to go check Zora, since Kuchiri left that last time.
Oh, yeah,
now
maybe.
They have the money.
Shin going for the hammer jump. Messes up the first attempt. Let's see if they can get it the second time. So yeah, we're just looking for at least a hook shot. At most, a hook shot and an ether. Shin can go get their mitts since beating Aga, and we'll probably do that right after done here in Pod. And then we'll just have to wait and see where we go next.
I could see a Meyer play. Having the cane now, Meyer is just calling out your name. There's a lot of checks over there.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to routing the back of Pod in a non-key Sandy scenario, if you get the big key in the front and you have enough keys, and either you're comfortable with the Dark World or you have the lamp already, you would just hammer jump initially, and then just, do the Dark Maze into the rest of the Pod section, and then you just go straight from there to the boss. I don't know if the keys actually permitted us to do that, though.
Cherry forgetting they don't have flippers.
Alright. This could be big for Kuchiri if this is one of the two, if this is like hookshot or something. What do we got? $20.
Yeah, the big difference right now is knowledge, I would say. Even though Kuchiri has a few checks that Shinmaru doesn't have, the big piece of knowledge is the fact that Nitz, the final glove, is on the tree behind Aga 1, which Shinmaru has already done Aga 1, so they can go get that at any time. So that's the big difference right now between both these runners.
Is he just running? Is this a hobo check?
What is he doing?
Yeah, you weren't kidding. Kuchiri's definitely going for these one-offs as opposed to, the next beatable dungeon. Now, because of those mitts, I could definitely see Kuchiri just doing Green Pen at Thieves Town. Kuchiri. He doesn't have. He thought he had the mitts. Okay.
Kuchiri.
Whoops.
Rip. It's funny because I think about this, and again, Kuchiri's he's not a new runner by any means. Kuchiri's been around for a little while now. Kuchiri plays a lot of the harder rule sets, cross keys and things like that. I'm wondering if this is just a brain off moment where it's like, crap, and you just kind of turn everything off, not realizing what you're doing, and because it is an easier mode, so I can see that happening.
It's easy, yeah. In easier modes, it's definitely likely, at least for some people, to just kind of autopilot a little bit. Are we going to Ice Palace, Shinmaru?
You gotta go get the mitts.
Okay, they're getting the mitts. Okay, I love this as a shortcut to get the mitts, to get to Lumberjack. It's definitely better if you have the flippers, because you don't have to spend time doing the fake flipper setup. But so I don't know how much time it actually saved compared to just like fluting to Kakariko, but
I can imagine it's about the same amount of time, but this looks a lot cooler. So
Kuchiri gonna go to the back, fight Moth, get their ice ride, and yeah, this is gonna get interesting here. This is kind of the big moment because Kuchiri does have an opportunity to check Lumberjack with Bumper Ledge and then gonna see the mitts there and gonna feel maybe a little behind at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be... that's gonna be rough.
I don't know, dude.
First.
I guess checking the ledge here before, I always felt like it was kind of slow to drop down here, check the ledge, and then flute back. But I think in this situation with desert being a pendant, you don't really want to go into desert anyway. So just getting the free info makes more sense. It is Bombos for Misery Meyer.
That is good. So we have the Meyer connection that we need. Now it's just a matter of knowing what we need to get into TR. You alright, Shinmaru?
A little trouble on that. The block deletes. I also, Meyer feels like a pretty good... Well, just it's a good play in general, because, I mean, it's a required dungeon.
Yeah.
But, like, I'd be thinking, it's one of those scenarios where it's like, oh, well, you need Hookshot to get into Meyer, so Hookshot's going to be in there with the boots.
Oh, mirror bonking.
You gotta be a little careful there. Kuchiri takes on Moth with ease because of Tempered Sword.
Red Mail, Tempered Sword, 11 hearts.
No problem.
A fairy, a blue potion.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Shin's probably just gonna start knocking out all these crystal dungeons. After this, can, head on over and go do Ice Palace, can do Icebreaker to save a good chunk of time there. And then from there, it's gonna get interesting. Well, I mean, you'd probably just go straight to TR. I just hope you have the right medallion for it.
Yeah, I don't know. One of these... I always, if Thieves Town is the green pendant, especially if it is a pendant, I like clearing it. Obviously, it's a waste of time if there's nothing there, but I at least knock out the front four. I don't like leaving those front four unchecked, because they're not that long to check.
And, it's definitely a situation where it's like, I feel like my opponent probably at least checked the first four. It makes sense to me. That was actually the exact situation I was in my race yesterday, where I had a green pendant thieves and I didn't want to do it, but I was like, and all I had left at the end of the seed was all pendants, so.
Right.
And I was wrong. It was in Thieves Town, and I only did the first four. We got a Godmire.
That's always an unfortunate thing, but even then, it's like the front four is just, in any mode, so easy to check, and you get a lot of information if it's not Key Sanity. So you know what's in the back. So.
Moment of truth. Will Kuchiri mirror and check Lumberjack? Or will he be like, well, at this point, I don't care what's at Lumberjack. Alright, well.
Kuchiri, no.
I mean, this is a situation where he's going to run out of stuff to do and go do Green Pendant Thieves Town. And if he finds Hookshot there, while Shin's looking for it maybe in GT...
Yeah.
This could come back to his favor. Mit's go mode is really nice.
Yeah, it definitely is a not the worst thing to have as your go mode item.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, he's definitely in a rough spot right now.
But at the same time, like I can't.
It's not over until we see that hook shot. That's all.
Right. Other than routing choices for Kuchiri, because he's had some really off the wall routing choices in this match. I can't fault not checking Lumberjack. Like I get it. It's one spot that requires an entire dungeon. So like not checking it and thinking, all right, well my mitts are going to be somewhere else. Not that big of a deal, but it just sucks as a commentator to know. Yeah, that's where your mitts are at. You really should check that.
I feel like it being such a powerful item like the mitts means he's not going to do too much before he gets pushed towards that. It just once he's gonna do Thieves Town and he might go beat Desert. I don't know if we saw both items in Desert.
I don't either. At the same time, Desert is I know the map was on the torch. That's what I remember from Desert.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Neat map, big.
I don't know, man. Just the desert is not. Already having checked it, I don't know how much you prioritize that. But then again, I can't say what Kuchiri is going to do. They've done a lot of things that I wouldn't do in this instance. So, but they are checking Village of Outcasts. It doesn't look like they're going to go into Thieves Town, so we're not going to get a front 4 check.
Right, there's the other item here in Mire. And now we can go beat the Viri. Well, I mean, Kuchiri doesn't really have anything else to do right now without those mitts. So he's definitely going into Thieves Town, I'd assume.
Yeah, either that or just realizing they need to go to. Yeah, like they really...
I guess he could go up and do like Spike Cave. He's gonna check Magic Bat right now.
Yeah, they could do Spike Cave. They have other options available, but it's all like really awful, just one-off checks, and then like one of them's Aga. And if the way I'm putting myself into Kuchiri's mind right now, my thought process is I don't want to do this. So I do not want to do Aga 1. I've done everything I can to not.
Right. Nice. Shinmaru doing the spooky action, which is still a trick that I've never learned and probably won't learn.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool looking, but I just don't think it's that much of a save to actually learn. Gonna have an easy Vidi fight here. Silvers. Oh.
Getting all the eyeball hugs.
All right, Red.
We're heading into Thieves Town. Kuchiri finds a hookshot in here. This could be big. Like, Kuchiri would need to find hookshot and not, like, a required ether for TR or something.
Yeah. Or both could just be sitting in here. Real question. Okay, so that's now for sure 2 of the dungeon items, one of which is always going to be in the front. That is now in the front. So. It always feels bad whenever you come into decide to do the front 4, at least the Thieves Town, and you get all the dungeon items.
All the dungeon items, yeah.
It's like, well, now it is. You have to go to the back.
Well,
oh my God.
We might just get that. We might at least find the flippers in here, which would suck. Unless it's like a vanilla or French vanilla hookshot. I'm not gonna count Kuchiri out yet. He's definitely in some trouble, but he has an out, and it's that dang hookshot. But we're heading into Ice Palace. Yeah.
If there was an item to not have on both sides, Kuchiri's definitely benefiting from it being the hookshot.
Mm-hmm. So chat, help me out here, because key logic is stupid sometimes. What do we need to make Ice Palace hookshot locked? Because if you knew it's hookshot locked, then you knew hookshot couldn't be in Ganon's tower. Multiple keys on right side?
I have no idea.
Basically, there can't be a key in that chest, freezer chest, or iced tea. If there's no keys in those 3 checks, then it's hookshot locked. I believe that's it. Okay. Second item out of Thieves Town. Nice quick icebreaker from Shin. Map.
I need to refresh my stream. My sound's wrong.
Okay, what else we got? There's the big key. So, like, if a small key is here or on Cold Stair. Okay. Hold it. Easttown, what do you got? Small key.
I think if there's a small key on Gold Stair, period, then it is hookshot lock. I think that's just the case.
Okay.
But I don't know. Don't quote me on that, because like Ice Palace key logic, I just gave up on trying to learn that.
See, I thought
ridiculous.
because there's also a Samaria required. Key on cold means Samaria. Like right. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. I knew it was some sort of item lock. I just couldn't remember what it was. Ice Palace is one of those anomalies that just has such weird routing you can do with all the ice breakers and bomb jumps and crap you can do.
Yeah, this dungeon is not hookshot locked because of that small key in the freezer room. So, which means that hookshot could be in GT at this point.
Which that could also be awful, because you got to find the big key in GT, and it could be after the big key. So,
true.
Do you full clear GT if you don't have the hook shot by then, or do you just go straight up and figure it out from there?
Oh!
The hook shot's on green pendant.
All right, wow. The game changer. That's so good for Kuchiri, unless.
Oh,
well,
no.
Okay. So for Kuchiri, he needs these flippers to just never show up. Otherwise, he's gonna full clear Swamp Palace for potentially nothing. But wow.
Now there's another possible pain here. What does it take to get into TR? Because now that means that Ether Medallion could be in Swamp. It could be somewhere awful. So. But to Kuchiri now, so they're gonna check this green pendant, and really they're gonna be forced to pretty much go to Aga. Like they don't have any other options.
Either that or go back to desert. Oh my god!
Oh god!
They were both off of Thieves Town. What the hell?
Okay, I'm not picking sides here. But I kind of want it to be Ether now to get into TR, just because of how trolly that is.
Well, if it is Ether, I mean that's gonna work out for Shin really well, because I mean they're gonna run out of stuff to do because they've done so much already.
Right.
Wow.
Good Lord.
I was not expecting that.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Going to Spike Cave.
Yeah. That's another crystal done for Shin, and we're gonna go no flippers. I know it's easy to think you got them after you beat Ice Palace. Where the heck are the flippers then? I mean, we haven't found anything locked by flippers yet, so they could be just in TR or something.
I mean, they could also be right here where Jerry's about.
No, because there's a heart container.
Yeah.
Man, I'd be feeling great if I was Kuchiri. Even if, I mean, he's literally gonna get the Go Mode mitts. Assuming he remembers to go check them. He might go do Desert next. Let's see, what does he do?
So, flippers are 100%
mitts locked.
They're either mitts locked or they are here in Desert if there's an item here. I'm assuming there's an item here because I don't think he'd be coming back if there wasn't.
Right, because he knows the pedestal is dead.
Right.
And, for any runner that hasn't checked Lumberjack, it's going to be at this point, it's going to be the last thing you do, because it's like, it's free information. Like, yeah, if it's required, then you're screwed, pretty much.
This is the stubbornness of runners, in all honesty. It's where if you put it off this long and haven't checked it this long, you're not going to. It's going to be the last thing you do.
Well, it's double bombos, so that green pendant is nothing. So Shin will eventually, when they get to, this is so bad though, because Shin's gonna full clear GT maybe.
That actually is probably more beneficial for Kuchiri at this point. Gonna go check that first check, Super Bunny, and check the bonk check in the Hookshot Cave.
I mean, the routing. Obviously, Shin's doing exactly what I'd be doing. I just beat the crystal dungeons and just hope Hookshot shows up along the way. And if it doesn't, then I gotta mentally set myself up for this hover Molder and Bounce, which I have done both in a race, both times.
You've done
but
it,
I would never rely on it ever. It's just kind of like, well, I have to do this. I don't have a choice, so I better figure it out. It was my 4th qualifier for the last main tournament. I did my first hover in a race, which was dope. I did a Molder and Bounce once in a cross keys ladder, and which wasn't required, but I ended up winning that race by like 13 seconds, which was nuts if you think about it. I have not heard this MSU pack, but I've also not played much Ace Attorney, and it's just $50 off of Lambos, which we already kind of assumed.
Yeah, the only other thing it could have been would have been flippers, but yeah, flippers are probably going to be in TR. Honestly, flippers in TR would be kind of bad for Shinmaru, because I can see them going to maybe Swamp before Thieves. But
True.
I don't know why you. I
don't know. I
would.
Hookless Swamp sounds awful.
All
right, Kuchiri. Yeah. He's thinking. He's big thinking.
Where do I go?
What did I miss? Gosh, I hope he didn't. When he was checking Bumper Ledge, I hope he didn't think to himself, yeah, I already checked Lumberjack. It was nothing.
Oh, I've done that. I've done it.
I've done it too. Absolutely. I remember there was a race where I'm heading into Swamp because I've ran out of ideas to do, and it's like Hookless Swamp, and I go into the dam, and there's an unopened chest, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Wait, what?
And then I leave the dam, and there's the hookshot just sitting underneath where the water was.
It's almost like the hammer is in your house, numpty.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good moment.
So Kuchiri did figure out what they need to do, and they know exactly what's there. There's no other option.
Yep.
Just from process of elimination, they know that it's their. Well, I mean, I guess flippers or glove. I mean,
just go in.
What are you doing?
Why is he leaving?
Why are you confirming it first? Just do it. You have to do it.
Yeah, this is such a chunk of time loss.
I feel like this is a what did I do moment, and just kind of, I don't want to say panic, but just wow.
I don't think he has anything left.
I don't think so either, because we have no knowledge of where the flippers are. I don't know if he's just wanting to figure out if it's the flippers or figure out what it is.
Yeah, it'd be different if he had options, but he doesn't. This is all he has left. Yeah, that was a weird choice.
I chalked that up to just a panic moment of like, wait, I gotta go make sure it's this, because maybe it is that where you don't know if you forgot something else.
Right,
you want to make sure that's the case.
But I mean, if you,
at
least you're working. At least you're working towards another check as opposed to double backing on other stuff or sitting there with your map out, just thinking, "Oh, what did I do wrong?"
I'm just trying to explain it. I'm not saying I agree with it, because that was just such a bizarre choice and a lot of time spent.
It's one of those situations where it's like you're about to enter like a pendant dungeon. You're like, let me go check pedestal first before I commit to this dungeon. Where you're like standing outside a pod and you're like, oh, hold on, let me just real quick, and then I can flute back. So I mean,
say this though, we're at 112, right? And they've cleared all this game, and like the time that they've made, even with the weird decisions that Kuchiri has made, and like Shinmaru's made a lot of time, just they're not really behind in a sense of how long they've taken to do all this. So I don't know. It's just that was still such a bizarre choice to go check the Agaledge without actually
just panic.
Diving.
The panic, I know I've been there where you literally have one location left and you're just freaking out because you're like, is this actually my last location or did I forget something? And yeah, you know, I can understand one. It's just, he was right there. You just do it. Just go in.
Yeah. I think
if he was like standing in front of like the front door of Hyrule Castle and then went, that'd be one thing. But literally, like even killed the barrier. It was just
opened the door.
Yeah, it was just kind of funny. So obviously Shin's got a tremendous lead, just having so much of the game done already at this point. The problem is, like, even after this and then going straight into GT and clearing as much that they can, you know, then they might decide to do Smith Chain first. You know, they might find the flippers and decide to go into Swamp, maybe. I don't know. Kuchiri will get to Go Mode 3 Crystal Dungeons, which is huge, especially with Ice and Mire, and especially a God Mire. T-Rock probably not going to save too much time, but, you know, get to skip at, like, Mimic Cave and stuff, so it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this plays out. The seed definitely turned around and got very interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than it was just a few moments ago, with Hookshot being where it's at, and especially lack of knowing. I don't know if either of these runners know how to hover one or do the Maldorn bounce or whatever, so that's man, just so much not working in Shinmaru's favor being ahead right now.
For Shin, I think the best scenario for them is that they never find the flippers. Like, flippers are like Hookshot Cave or something. And GT Big Key is in, like, Stalfos room. So you know the hookshot's not upstairs.
Right.
But yeah, this is such a crummy spot to be in. And, you know, this is the thing about this tournament, is these moments are gonna happen, and if a player is comfortable with Maldorn Bounce or hovering, then they're just gonna win every time.
Yeah, and to our knowledge now, for commentator knowledge, we know Kuchiri's going to be in Go mode. Kuchiri does not know that they're going to be in Go mode.
I just can't believe it actually turned into Go mode mitts. Like, I know we talked about right at the beginning of the seed when we saw the glove there. I was like, dude, could you imagine if that was our Go mode? And then it's actually happening. That's nuts. This game's nuts.
Yeah, it's happening for Kuchiri, and it's a Go mode hookshot for Shinmaru. So in such an awful spot too.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, if you're Shinmaru, you're wanting the hookshot to be in GT, but it's just, ugh.
All right, 7th crystal for Shin. Mitts for Kuchiri. Here we go. What's next?
How many times have you been able to say 7 crystals for one runner and then the Go mode mitts for the other?
Yeah, like, what are the odds of that happening? So Kuchiri has a really quick... Kuchiri gets to Go mode, Ice Palace, Mire, and TR. Doesn't he have to care about medallions, because he has all 3.
Yep.
Shin is the one who is probably feeling a little nervous.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate, too, because I'm going to give a lot of credit to Shinmaru here. Their routing was impeccable. They did very good routing.
It's just that hookshot ended up being on Green Pennant Blind. And, you know, when you just have the next crystal dungeon you can go do, why the hell would you want to go do Green Pennant Thieves Town?
Right.
Like, the only time you could have done that would have been before you found, like, half of your items.
I can't wait for this to... I can't wait for it to be... Big key immediately. Oh man, and like where the big key is gonna be at, it's gonna be rough too. Just
if big key is in Stalfos room, I mean, Shin can skip out on checking the other hookshot stuff in here, but can go. Okay, he's gonna go ahead and skip. There is one chest on the left that is in logic. the double firebar room without hookshot.
Right.
Probably need a couple more small keys to actually put it in logic. But... Can...
I think... Yeah, there's going to be a small key.
The early tile room.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be a small key. So...
I mean, you gotta be feeling pretty good to go for the early tile room. Question is, how quickly can Kuchiri go mode Ice, Mire, and TR before Shinmaru clears everything before going to blind? Like, this is... Like, obviously Shin's still in a favorable position because, you know, Desert... They also still have Desert as well. Hey, you were right.
Yeah, I think if there's no small key in the first two chests, then it has to be a small key in the tile room. I think also the chest that is in the fire snake room is also going to be a small key. Dr. Bob taught me a decent amount about like key logic in GT. There's a lot of weird stuff that can happen.
Alright, what do we got on Compass side? We got $50, $50, $5, 3 bombs.
That's 30 schmeckles.
That's a lot of dollars. Wow, quick Ice Palace for Kuchiri on the Cold Tear fight already.
Deciding to go full right and go to the Ice Armos. Not a bad idea. I don't hate the play.
I feel like for me, I'd probably still instinctively just do my left right, maybe left full right. But yeah, you want to like it makes sense. On one hand, it makes sense to stay in logic at this point because you might find the hookshot here to then go get your big key on hookshot side.
This is one of the few times that I think staying in logic is just worth it because you're not gonna find much else. Like, because what are you gonna find that's gonna do anything? You're gonna find flippers. That's not gonna do anything for you. You know the hookshot's not gonna be behind flippers. So
flippers are probably just on like Smith chain or something at this point. I think outside of like swamp, I think that's like only of half maybe hookshot cave, but we can't get to that.
I mean, yeah, it would be in logic to go to hookshot cave for flippers to be there, but because they can be in here, in GT, they can be
21. Oh no! No! Check the big chest! Oh! Why no check big chest?
Oh, maybe they're thinking about it. Okay.
I don't think Shin knows about. I don't think Shin knows about the firebar room being in logic with boots. I mean, we know the hookshot's not there, but
right. But it could be.
It could be. It could be in the big chest too, but it's not. But it could be.
Right. There's things being left behind where it could be there, but yeah, that's and we know that it's Godmire too, which is really good for Kuchiri. Oh man, this is so gut-wrenching looking at this, because it's like, we see the progression going for Shinmaru, making it further into GT, knowing where their go mode is, and Kuchiri just has to like clean up. It's a cleanup method, so
yeah, this is a rough situation for sure, because Shin was like leading for the majority of this race, and Kuchiri at this pace is gonna just come out of nowhere and take it at this rate.
And Shinmaru could still pull out something we don't know. Could pull out a last minute hover / Moldorm bounce, but I'm not holding my breath. So
we'll see. Yo, Zelda speedruns, thanks for the raid. Welcome everyone. We're watching some casual boots. We had a pretty crazy scenario where Shin just kind of hit the right route. Kuchiri missed mitts at Lumberjack, but because of that, it made him play into a green pen at Thieves Town where he found the hookshot. And so now we have... He's playing catch-up right now, but he is making up a lot of time very quickly with these Go Mode dungeons that he has left. So, gonna be interesting to see how the rest of this plays out. I gotta favor Kuchiri at this point. He's just going.
Yeah, at this point, it really is. It's in Kuchiri's favor because it's all going to be depending on whether or not Shinmaru decides to go to the right spot and go to Thieves Town, which it helps that Thieves Town is a green pendant. So if you are going to prioritize any pendant dungeon, it will be the green pendant one, hopefully. So that helps a little bit, but that's still a lot of ground to cover. Because we're looking at also, you know, we got a full TR for Kuchiri. Plus going, we know where the big key is. It's French vanilla. So, I mean, they do have to do quite a bit of Ganon's Tower to find the big key. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to play this out in my head of how close this is going to be in the end. And I just don't see a world where Shinmaru is going to be able to make up the time that Kuchiri is getting from having the hook shot.
Yeah, it was just really unfortunate for Shin that the big key to GT wasn't hookshot locked, because that would mean that there's no way that the hookshot would be up here. So...
I also feel that, like, this is almost like a boxing match where, you know, you got somebody who is vastly ahead and just doing an amazing job getting all the hits and just, you know, wailing on the opponent, and then the other person just gets that one knockout punch.
The other person just sucker punches him.
Yeah, and it just happens to be that one knockout punch, and boom,
yeah.
There you go, it's done. So...
Okay, let's see what Shin does here. I'm assuming this is...
I do agree with Yogamesh about, you know, being... If they go right to Thieves Town, this is still going to be close. Because the TR is not a fast dungeon. You're not... Yeah, you're not speedy doing TR. So, wherever Shinmaru decides to go, if they prioritize, they're going to do... Okay, I don't hate this. I like this play. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's right here. Hoping to get that fairy just fricked right off.
My people need me.
It's like Kuchiri's taking the long route to TR. Man. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. I don't know why Shin had the ice rod out. Probably thought it was Burna by accident. I can understand how stressful Shin has to be in this situation. They've been doing so well, and then at the last second, the rug got pulled out from underneath them.
Man, you just don't see hookshot go mode, hookshot being last item very often.
If Shin goes straight to Thieves, this could be close. Because Kuchiri still not only has to beat TR, but also has to get all the way to Ice Armos. This might be Pyramid Fairy first. And yeah,
it's such a rough spot to be in. Such a rough spot. To be
yeah,
in.
It sucks.
Like, I don't know where I would. I can't say I wouldn't be doing the same checks.
And I wouldn't even be like, dude, just learn how to Molder Bounce, because Molder Bounce sucks ass.
Yeah, and like not
hovering sucks too. Like screw that. So, flippers at this point are either hookshot locked or they're on the Smith chain. So hopefully Shin doesn't do the Smith chain and finds the flippers. Because, you know, at this point, we still want it to be a close race, so...
I would... If I was Shin at this point, even knowing what I do as the commentator, I would still do Thieves Town before Smith chain. Just because it's already... that you're there in that spot anyway, and it's green pendant. So the fact that it's green pendant is it's too big of a thing to not.
Yeah. Also, unfortunately, Shin losing a little bit of time with this route to Big Bomb, despite having Aga cleared, which you can mirror and go through the Aga portal, save a little bit of time there. But
that doesn't happen very often either, though. That you're going to be checking this and.
Oh, that's where the cape was. I'm actually gonna switch audio. I'm gonna do it.
No. Oh, didn't mirror bounce.
It's a Mega Man Battle Network.
I've yet to play those games.
Same. I've watched a bit of them, but
I've always been the Mega Man X, Mega Man 2 like purist. I'm the person that plays those. Oh, getting.
having a little bit of trouble with these chomps. Oh no! Come on, Kuchiri, you can do it. Yeah, that chomp is just not letting him have any time.
Oh man.
Okay, Shin, is this it? Are we going into Thieves Town?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We got a race.
Taking a death, but having a fairy.
And, you know, Shin also going to get some time back not turning in Green Pendant for a useless Ether Medallion.
Apparently, the Chain Chomps have money on Shinmaru winning. So
Clearly. Now, I mean, here's the situation. Kuchiri did win game 1, so if Shin was to actually take this victory, then they would go 1-1 and, you know, have a better shot of making it out of groups. I don't recall. I know one of the other players in their group is Matt Cap, who is a pretty solid runner as well. Has had, you know, pretty good records in like the main tournament, particularly.
Yeah, I've seen Matt Cap do ladder races. They're pretty good. They're definitely not a slouch runner by any means.
I have to go look up and see who the third person is in their group, unless somebody in chat knows and can save me the hassle. By the way, how's the audio sound, chat? Is this fine? I didn't test out the audios of both musics, so hopefully this isn't too loud.
Okay, so it's official. TR is on Shinmaru's side.
Shuri is having a lot of trouble execution-wise in this TR and giving time back to Shin, because Shin's not too far away from getting that hook shot and can just, better not save and quit. Otherwise they'll get back on the pyramid, but...
Nerves are probably killing both these runners, because I can imagine being so nervous right now. As Shinmaru, you've pretty much full cleared GT, you've gotten everything you can, and as Kuchiri, you're having to go-mo dungeons knowing that the hook shot was on Green Pendant Thieves Town, as well as not getting your mitts from Aga 1 until way late.
Both these runners are probably stressing out.
I wouldn't doubt it. And
especially Shin, though, because, double dipping GT never feels good. But yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, I gotta put favor back on Shin now at this point, because it still also comes down to Kuchiri's GT routing and also Trinix execution. This TR execution did not do Kuchiri any favors in this race.
What route did he just take?
He took the left route.
I hardly ever see people take that left route. It's always go around. Is that faster, or is it just preference?
Nah, just different. I mean, if you're like low in health, you take it because you could avoid getting hit, but you have safety items, so
right. Yeah, and at this point, as soon as Shinmaru gets the hook shot, they're going to be heading right back up GT, and they'll be pretty quick to do that. The only thing that sucks is having to do the gauntlet again. That's like taking a death on Multiverse 2.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so painful. You just feel so bad.
By the way, hookshot is on the boss, not on Green Pendant Turn-In. For anyone wondering in chat. So, Shin's gonna get that hookshot after 3 more slashes with the sword.
You know, they might be going into GT about the same time. But Shinmaru is going to be heading directly up, and Kuchiri has to find the big key. Going to save and quit though, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean it's probably still faster than a fanfare.
Yeah. Either way, I mean it is definitely.
Oh. Oh. Well, so if Kuchiri does like hope to full left, he'll keep it closer. But yeah, Shin is definitely back in the lead at this point.
That big key is in the best possible spot for Shinmaru. It's literally French vanilla, so it's definitely beneficial to Shinmaru at this point. But yeah, they're gonna be entering GT relatively close to the same amount of time. Kuchiri's gonna have a little bit of time to go towards the big key where Shinmaru's gonna be heading straight up. But yeah, this is definitely favoring Shinmaru 100% again, which with everything that happened, Shinmaru played, their routing was very well done. Like they really did a fantastic job on this seed from where Hookshot was. Like I gotta give them mad credit.
Shin definitely got lucky that they never found the flippers, because I know if I was in the situation, I'd be going Swamp probably back instead of Thieves Town. Because I'd metagame myself out of going into Thieves Town. It's like, well, my opponent probably did this, so if it's there, then I lose, and etc., etc. Alright,
oh, wow.
Nice Dead Rock. Lovely.
Pixels, man. Pixels on
the... Maybe flippers will be here in Stalfos. Maybe.
That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. You're not going into TR? Okay, sorry. Okay, I should let Shin do stuff before I, like, throw out comments like that. I was like, why would you go into TR? Obviously not going into TR.
But really, the flippers could
flippers can't be in GT because of Ice Spells. Duh. Silly us. Right. So it's gotta be, it's on Smith Chain. That's all we had left in the entire seed.
Has to be 100%. Well, it could be in Hookshot Cave. So there's 3 checks in Hookshot Cave and it's Smith Chain.
Well, it can't. Well, yeah, you're right. It could be in Hookshot Cave. Oh, there's all the small keys.
So funny enough, at this point, I've gone to the Firebar room and gotten 3 keys like that, and immediately gone back to the right. Because of the amount of keys that I got, and just kind of knowing the way GT is sometimes, but even then it wouldn't play into anybody's favor in this because of where the big key's at.
See, my mindset is if I do, because I like to do the left route in GT often, and if I go to the left and I find like 2 small keys in Stalfos room, I will sometimes like spend a little extra time to check double Firebar room, because the more early keys I have, I feel like the more likely that the TR bigs, or the GT big keys could be in Firebar. I don't know. It's just it's a mindset that I have. I don't know if it's even like remotely close to being accurate or useful.
I'm pretty sure all the different methods of GT routing, it doesn't matter. Rando
it doesn't matter.
It's everybody has their own thought process to it, and it's literally just a matter of you gotta get lucky. You gotta just find the big key. It's all it is.
Just find a key, Forehead.
James is right in chat. GT routing is astrology. GT is a Capricorn.
See, and now I'm starting to think, like, man, there were some certain times where Kuchiri threw time away, just kind of like with indecision, particularly like when he was about to go do Castle Tower at that moment. You know, that's time that he gave away for free of charge. And you know, also when you went back to go kill Lamel, like, I understand he had to make a decision there, and if he was probably feeling if Lumberjack was required, then he was probably not in a good spot. We can ask him about that, but just these little things. And then, like, the TR execution didn't do him any favors either. Or, like you were saying earlier, when he was routing that South Dark World, like, he could have done shovel with the Stumpy check and stuff like, just all these little tiny things definitely added up that could have made this race a little bit closer.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of decisions that the thing about when you're coming to a basic randomizer and a standard or open, you've got to group checks. You can't keep one-offing and constantly just isolating checks and doing one here and then one there. Mm-hmm. You got to group things together like Catfish and Zora checks and stuff like that. The game's going to send you there if what you need is there eventually. Yeah. But the more you can do to just maximize your checks per minute, the better.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're gonna skip stuff, then you can, as long as I feel like you can skip stuff as long as you go back and check it later, like group it with a different set of items. Kind of like how people will like skip the dam intentionally and then group it in with a swamp check or something. Though that one's a little bit more brazen.
I think, common ones is like I said, the grouping Zora and Catfish, grouping Agina with your Meyer check, things like that. So you just drop down and check it right after you do checkerboard. So there's just anything you can do in these simple modes of just get to the items to, again, maximize your checks per minute is best. Because if you're spending all this time doing one here, one there, one here, one there, you're just taking so much time away from actually getting to the meat of what you need to be doing.
Right. So, now, if every single one of those one-offs you did led to progression, then, it would be telling a different story. But generally speaking, like, at least that's how I've always wanted to play. I always enjoyed playing this game. It's like, how can I route the seed efficiently and route these checks? How can I clear this? How can I full clear the game as quickly and efficiently as possible?
Right.
Win or lose. But yeah, we're on the Ganon fight for Shin. We're back over to Shin's music, and this is good for Shin. This is good for keeping this group interesting, because this will, if Shin continues on this path, will snag this win and finish out between the two 1-1.
Kuchiri unfortunately missing the quick whiz robe too.
I also give Shin credit for definitely having the better execution, aside from that moment right there, throughout this race.
Except for when I'm talking about it.
Except for that one obvious mistake. I don't know, Shin just looks a little bit more practiced.
Yeah, in this match in particular, I gotta say, routing-wise and execution-wise, Shinmaru took it. I think the person who had the better execution and routing is ahead and winning at this moment. So, which Rando sometimes decides differently. Sometimes that's not the case. So. Despite
the last location mitts, this is definitely a winnable race for Kuchiri. Just needing to make a few different decisions and clean up some of that execution. Because he's not that far behind.
Not at all.
Right. Silvers.
And you gotta chalk this up to nerves. I can imagine that a lot of it's just a stressful moment of, oh great, I'm behind and I know I am because of where certain things showed up. So.
All right, that is gonna do it. Just gotta get cross the bridge, and Shin will be our victor today, and we'll get a cute little Triforce piece next to their name on the little bulletin board. Yay, wee! GG's.
The most embarrassing thing that I think I've ever done was dashing off the edge of the Ganon room after killing him.
We've all done it, at least once. Every single one of us. And if you haven't, then,
it will happen.
There's still time.
I also remember, you know how you can get stuck in the dashing animation, and if you accidentally dash down, like the bow out, and you can't stop yourself, and you keep going.
Oh yeah, definitely did that once, very recently. But I thought the cutscene was gonna stop my dash, so I just kind of kept going and bombed. All right, there's a dead Agatu for Kuchiri. And, hold on, let me just let him know.
Yep. Kuchiri going down in to fight the pig. And I mean, overall, it's only about, what, maybe 4 minutes difference between the two runners, which, everything aside, that is not that bad.
Yeah, still gonna be a respectable time for how mean the seed kind of was.
Front loaded, and like always, something was the hitch, and hookshot really was the major one. But Kuchiri getting locked into Mit's go mode on Aga 1.
I mean, that's the thing. It was gonna be if Kuchiri did check Lumberjack earlier, had that information, we would have got a completely different race, and it would have been both runners probably clearing all their crystals, probably dipping GT, and then, you know, oh, well, here we are, time to pick a pendant dungeon.
Right.
So, but this race was sick. I was not expecting. Well, that was scary on Kuchiri's side. Managed to bounce back just enough to not get hit by a fireball.
Yeah, this race was very enjoyable. It came down to not knowing how close it was going to be at the end until Shinmaru was dropping down in again, so...
Mm-hmm. Couple silvers away. Put the pig down. Kuchiri will finish out this seed. Man. Stupid hook shot.
Right. Freaking...
Alright, that's gonna do it. Get your GGs in chat for Kuchiri. Man, I gotta try out this MSU pack. I like it. Big fan.
Both of them are good.
Mm-hmm.